She was 28 years old, educated, passionate, outspoken. Sandra Bland had just landed a new job at the university she once attended, Prairie View A&M, a historically black college in Texas. On July 10, 2015, she packed her things and drove from Illinois to Texas, ready to begin a new chapter in her life. But she never got the chance. 3 days after arriving in Texas, Sandra Bland was found dead in a Waller County jail cell. And what started as a simple traffic stop would become one of the most controversial and haunting cases in modern American history. Sandra was pulled over by State Trooper Brian Encinia for failing to signal a lane change. The encounter, recorded on dashcam, quickly escalated. When she questioned why she was being asked to step out of the car, the officer grew aggressive. Moments later, she was on the ground, handcuffed, and under arrest for assaulting a public servant. But according to many, that charge didn't hold up to scrutiny. Sandra was upset, yes, but not violent. She was taken to the Waller County Jail and booked. The next few days were quiet. Bland made phone calls to family and tried to post bail. But her voice in those calls revealed confusion, frustration, and fear. In one recorded call, she said, "I don't know. I just don't understand how switching lanes with no signal turned into all of this." Then, on July 13th, just before 9 a.m., Sandra Bland was found dead in her cell. The official cause? Suicide by hanging. She had used a plastic trash bag tied to a metal partition in the cell. That's what authorities claimed. But people immediately began asking hard questions. Why would a woman who had just landed a dream job, moved across states, and had plans for her future, suddenly take her own life in a jail cell? Why didn't anyone in the jail check on her, especially given that she had voiced signs of emotional distress? Why was the surveillance footage from the jail missing key moments and oddly edited? The deeper the investigation went, the more questions piled up. Autopsy results were inconsistent. There were marks on her back and wrists. Her mugshot appeared strange. Some even questioned whether it had been taken after she had died. These questions fueled public suspicion and national outrage. Civil rights activists, lawmakers, and ordinary citizens began to demand answers. Was this really a suicide? Or was it something more? The FBI and the Texas Rangers launched an investigation. In December 2015, Trooper Brian Encinia was indicted, not for assault or misconduct, but for perjury. He had claimed that he pulled Sandra from the car for her safety. The grand jury believed that was a lie, but that charge, too, was dropped in a plea agreement. He was fired from the department but never faced jail time. No one ever has. Sandra's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit, which resulted in a $1.9 million settlement and a commitment by local officials to reform jail procedures. But for many, that wasn't enough, because Sandra Bland became more than just a name. She became a symbol, a painful reminder of the long-standing issues of police aggression, systemic racism, and the deep flaws within the criminal justice system. Her story sparked nationwide protests. Her name was chanted in the streets, painted on signs, shared across social media with a single phrase, "Say her name." Even today, nearly a decade later, the case continues to haunt the conscience of the country. Not because we don't know what happened, but because too many people still believe that what happened could have been prevented. Sandra Bland deserved better. She deserved to begin her new job, to unpack her bags, to start a new life. Instead, her death remains a wound in the national conversation. Unhealed, unanswered, and unforgettable. So we ask, do you believe Sandra Bland took her own life? Or was her death the result of something the public still hasn't been told? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want us to explore more stories of injustice, truth, and the lives lost in the shadows of the system, hit subscribe and stay tuned. Because some stories aren't just headlines. They're cries for accountability, and they deserve to be heard.